Hey guys, so we are gonna start kind of laying out our final project. And last time we were going through and you were kind of coming up with some ideas based on emotions of how you're handling this isolation right now, and taking those maybe negative emotions and trying to find positive ways to work through them. And so my example was one of boredom. And I said that, like, I'd have like an idea, an image of myself seemingly bored or whatever, and then there'd be some sort of transitional thing where maybe I'd like be looking out the window and I'd be looking at my jumps, and then my last picture would be me out riding, dealing with that boredom. So each of you has your own thing. At this point, you should have shared your ideas with me through the daily share. And so the next step, you guys, is to actually start creating a layout on our final piece of paper. And that might look different ways. Now, one thing that I see a lot of kids do is they, like I said, that this should be like a 3-frame image. And so like right away, they're just like, they draw the frames and they try to make their story or their thing fit into those frames. And like that isn't the best way to go about it. I think figuring out your images and then figuring out how the frames then will look from there, I think is a better way to handle this. Now, the way that I handle it might work good for my imagery, but it might not work well for your imagery. So you guys keep in mind that this is my example, and it's not going to be exactly how yours looks. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys some ideas that I had as far as like how this is actually going to look. I am a huge proponent for using actual imagery to draw from, and I think using reference pictures just allows us to be more aware of details and draw more accurately. And so if seeing as how you guys have your phones or you have other people's phones and you could kind of snap pictures and get those things together, use your Chromebook, whatever, and create like the image of like what you want, especially if it's you like doing something in your house, you can easily just set that up, step back or have somebody hit a button and have you like interacting or doing the thing that you're trying to draw. All right. If that's not possible, then you're going to have to mock up your own image, but again, using reference pictures. So if it's like, you got to get out and go for a walk in the park, like look up a park, look at a picture of people walking in a park and draw from those pictures. Okay, so you guys use reference pictures. Always use reference pictures. You can create your own style. You can draw in your own way for this project. Like, I'm not looking for 100% accuracy, but for example, if you are drawing a picture of a Ford Raptor pickup truck, you should be looking at a picture of a Ford Raptor pickup truck and drawing from that, so that you know how the graphics look and the headlights and the way the windshield sits and the grill and all that stuff. All those sorts of details are really crucial to making that look like that particular truck. So again, maybe you're drawing your room and you're gonna like draw aspects of that or whatever, but like take a picture of that and work from that. It works so much better. So my examples, I've got a few different pictures. So here's a picture of me being bored, staring at my computer, and I like this picture. I also like, I took 2 pictures or whatever. This is the second one. You can see like this one, like my eyes are just kind of like bugging out of my head, and I think that's kind of a more amusing picture. So I kind of like that. We'll see like how I maybe morph these two like together. Maybe I like use this and that. The next picture is me staring out the window. So I changed the vantage point, so I've got a little bit different view. And so like I'm looking out the window and I'm looking at my yard. It's kind of blowing out because it's so bright out there, but I think that'll be good. And also, you guys notice how I changed all my pictures to black and white? We're going to be doing black and white style shading with this product. I've got kind of a fun spin for this. But make sure that you're actually, like, just convert it to black and white. You can usually do that on your phone or whatever. It'll just make it easier for shading in the future. And then, like I said, for riding, I did a little riding video last week just to show you guys what I've been up to. And so I just did some screen grabs from that. So here's like me jumping over like a jump, and here's me jumping over a different jump. So like one of those two. Now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna like look at a couple things here. Number one, notice how much of my picture is taken up by me here. I take up, I would say, at least a third. I'd say, probably, if you take my whole body here or whatever, like I take up about a third of the picture, and that's good. We want ourselves to dominate, or our subject matter to dominate the picture. We don't want it to be, just this little tiny, like, me, and then this huge background, like, because then you have to deal with the background, you have to draw all this extra stuff. Like this, it's pretty much just me, the table. Maybe I can like lightly kind of sketch in some of the stuff in the background, but I'm dominated this. Same with like this picture. I take up about a third, okay? And I could crop this a little bit too. Like I could bring this in here and drop this down. Maybe I could change like the picture a little bit, maybe make it more like I guess an upright picture, like a portrait style versus a landscape style like it is right now. And then like for these, this is like the exception, all right? Like the environment is important. Showing like my yard and all the jumps, stuff like that. Like obviously I'm not gonna take up a third of that, but I need to not get lost. So I'm gonna have to like draw this and shade this in a way that we see all this stuff. Maybe I simplify the background or whatever, but we want this to stand out. So you guys just really keep in mind how you position things. Don't make things really small and then have to make tons of background. Make your subject matter big. Have it dominate the space. If it takes up the whole thing or like half of it or a third of it, that's great. Don't make it any less than a third unless it's like these last pictures of me riding where the environment is essential like for that whole picture, okay? So I'm gonna just draw out kind of how this should look. So for example, and I could do this in a couple different ways. Here's my piece of paper. Now I could have it go up and down. So again, I could have it be what's called portrait style, or I could have it be a landscape style, all right? So maybe that first picture, of me like sitting there bored at my computer, it's kind of, like this kind of a size of picture. And so like there's the computer and there's me, and I'm like, here's my arm propping up or whatever, and I'm bored, okay? And then maybe the second picture is that like kind of cropped edge of the table, me sitting here, looking out the window, here's the window, or whatever, okay? And then my final picture is me riding, and like here's me like on my bike, da-da-da, and here's the jump, and here's like the landing, and here's all the other stuff that's going on, okay? So like that'd be a pretty decent way of doing it. Now if I was gonna do it on this way, like I could do, two like equally spaced, like, here's like me at the computer, bored, here's my arm, here's the second picture, okay, and like this one, again is like, here we'd see like my laptop, here's the edge of the computer, here's me looking out the window, okay, there's the window, and then we have this big landscape down here, and I've got like all the stuff, I've got the jumps, there's the jumps, here's me like hitting the jump, here's like the tree, blah, 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 all that stuff in the background. That's like two ways I could do it. All right, maybe in your picture, you have the big picture on top. Maybe you have a skinny one. Maybe you have a long one and then another. Like, don't create this though. Don't create this first. Figure out your pictures, and then from your pictures, decide what size rectangles and how they're gonna fit. Okay, so like I picked my pictures first. I then like put them, like I thought about like how they could lay out, and then like I created the frames and like set them in place. Okay, so like for yours, make sure you're going about it in the right way. Don't create this and have like the boxes or whatever and then try to make something fit into it. Instead, like figure out what your images are gonna be and how they're gonna fit in that space. Okay, so play around with that. I want you guys for your homework to get your reference pictures. So you could actually take pictures. Again, make sure that you're filling the space, you're dominating the space. If you need to, you can crop it, you can like make it, fit or whatever. Make sure it's interesting, kind of think about your angles and stuff like that. Make sure they're not all the same angle. Like notice like my first picture was a front view of like me looking at the computer. The second one was a side view. The last one is like me jumping. It's like a back view of me. So like each picture has a different kind of angle to it. Again, it makes it interesting. It's not just the same thing. Like if you just had the side view of a person in every single one, that's boring, okay? So pick different ways, pick zoomed in on different things, like coming in close on certain parts, like maybe like different view over here, different view over there, okay? Get your pictures, okay? If you're using reference pictures, you're actually not just taking it, but you're like going on the internet and finding pictures of certain things, save those things to your Chromebook. But these are the things I want you to show me in your daily share. I want you to show me your reference pictures, and I also want you to show me this. I want you to show me your little doodle, your little thumbnail sketches of how the layout is going to be, all right? Is your paper going to be landscape? Is it going to be portrait? Is it going to be, like, how are the boxes going to be set up on there? So take some time, you guys, figure out your reference pictures, figure out this, and then starting tomorrow, we should be able to actually start drawing on our final piece of paper. So, if you have any questions, let me know. But that's it. Thanks for your time, guys. I will see you tomorrow.